Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Whether you're a longtime subscriber or new to our community, I'm so glad you're here. Today I want to dive into a topic that many of us might have thought about but rarely discuss openly: how our ideas of friendship and social connections change as we grow older. Have you ever noticed that the priorities you held dear in your youth seem to shift dramatically as you age? There was a time when having a huge circle of friends was seen as a badge of honor, a sign that you were living life to the fullest. But as you approach your 70s and beyond, that need to surround yourself with people fades away. And believe it or not, that change might be one of the most liberating transformations you'll ever experience. In today's video, we're going to explore 6 eye-opening reasons why, after 70, you might not really need to cling to the same friendships or social routines you once did. These insights aren't about pushing you into isolation or loneliness. Instead, they're about rediscovering the freedom that comes with prioritizing your own well-being. So, if you're ready to challenge the conventional wisdom of more friends equals more happiness, and instead find a deeper, more personal kind of fulfillment, stick with me. I promise you, what you're about to hear might just change the way you view your later years. Get comfortable, grab your favorite beverage, and let's embark on this journey together. 1. You're beyond the need for validation. Let's start with a truth that many of us come to realize as we grow older. The days of needing to prove yourself to everyone around you are behind you. In our younger years, a significant part of our identity was wrapped up in external validation. We strived to impress, to fit in, and to earn the approval of colleagues, friends, and even acquaintances. Social circles were often as much about keeping up appearances as they were about genuine connection. There was always an underlying pressure to show the world who you were, and to be seen as successful, interesting, and likable. Now, imagine reaching a point in life where your legacy is already well established. That's where many of us find ourselves in our later years. For instance, think about Harold, a man who spent decades hustling up the corporate ladder. Throughout his career, he was constantly surrounded by people, work colleagues, business acquaintances, and a steady stream of friends, whose company often revolved around professional success and social standing. But once Harold retired, something remarkable happened. The need to impress faded away, almost overnight. He began to see that much of the energy he had once spent on living up to others' expectations was unnecessary baggage. Instead, Harold started focusing on what genuinely made him happy, revisiting long-forgotten hobbies, spending time in quiet reflection, and simply enjoying the freedom of being true to himself. By the time you're 70, you've already accumulated a lifetime of experiences that validate who you are. You no longer need to chase after social accolades or measure your worth based on the opinions of those around you. This isn't about becoming self-centered. It's about understanding that your self-worth comes from within. When you free yourself from the constant need for external approval, you begin to experience a profound sense of relief and inner peace. You're not tethered to outdated standards or compelled to prove your value every day. Instead, you can savor life on your own terms, confident in the knowledge that who you are is more than enough. Interactive break. If this resonates with you, go ahead and type 1 in the comments. I'd love to hear if you've ever felt the relief that comes with no longer needing to prove yourself. 2. Embracing peace over perpetual socializing. As we journey through life, one of the most surprising shifts many of us experience is the growing appreciation for peace and quiet. In our younger days, the buzz of constant social interaction, filled with lively gatherings, endless chatter, and the hustle of trying to stay connected, was often seen as the essence of a fulfilling life. But as you step into your 70s, you begin to realize that there's immense value in solitude. It's not that social connections vanish entirely. Rather, you start to crave deeper, more meaningful moments of calm. Take Margaret, for example. At 74, Margaret was once the life of every party. Her calendar was jam-packed with lunches, group outings, and countless phone calls. Yet, over time, the very activities that once brought her joy began to feel like burdens. The same repetitive conversations, the constant buzz of phone notifications, and the unspoken expectations to always be on started to wear her down. Instead of feeling uplifted, she found herself exhausted by the social routine. One day, Margaret decided to take a stand for her well-being. She began to decline invitations that didn't spark genuine joy and started carving out time for herself. She rediscovered the simple pleasure of walking alone in the early morning, savored quiet afternoons with a book, and learned to appreciate the beauty of silence. In embracing the quiet, Margaret didn't isolate herself from the world. She simply shifted her focus from obligatory chatter to the rich, fulfilling experience of being alone with her thoughts. There's an undeniable freedom in knowing that you don't always have to be on for others. Valuing peace means choosing quality interactions over quantity, and recognizing that sometimes the best conversations you can have are the ones that occur in the silence of your own mind. It's about finding that sweet spot where solitude feels like a cherished friend rather than a sign of loneliness. Interactive break. If you're starting to see the beauty in quiet moments, comment 2 below. I'd love to know if you're embracing more peaceful, introspective time in your life. 3. Fewer friendships, fewer disappointments. One of life's tougher lessons is learning that not every friendship is meant to last, and that's perfectly okay. In our earlier years, we might have clung to relationships, often out of habit or fear of missing out. We invested so much time and emotional energy into cultivating connections that, in hindsight, were more about obligation than genuine reciprocity. As we advance in age, the inevitable disappointments that come with one-sided friendships begin to take their toll. Consider William, a man in his late 70s who has seen more than his fair share of friendships fade away. Over the years, William experienced the sting of people drifting apart. Friends who were once pillars of support but eventually became distant figures when he needed them most. The reality set in that many of these relationships were built on circumstances rather than authentic connection. Rather than mourning the loss of every old friend, William chose to take a hard look at what truly mattered. He began to prune away the superficial ties, realizing that a smaller, more genuine circle was far more valuable than a sprawling network filled with disappointments. When you let go of friendships that no longer add to your life, you're not giving up on human connection. You're simply choosing to protect your emotional well-being. Fewer friendships mean fewer chances to be let down by unmet expectations. They free you to invest your time in relationships where the support is mutual, the connection is sincere, and the joy is real. This selective approach doesn't signify loneliness, it signifies wisdom. It's the understanding that your happiness isn't measured by the number of people in your contact list, but by the quality of the connections you nurture. It might sound a bit radical in today's world of social media and constant networking, but fewer, deeper friendships often lead to a richer, more satisfying life. Imagine waking up every day without the nagging worry that you're missing out on a text, a call, or an invitation. Imagine the relief of not having to constantly manage expectations and disappointments. This is what comes with embracing a leaner social circle, the kind where every relationship is treasured and every moment of interaction feels meaningful. Interactive break. If you agree that fewer friendships can lead to fewer disappointments, type 3 in the comments below. Your experiences might just help someone else understand the value of quality over quantity. 4. Time, your most precious commodity. They say time is the one resource you can never get back, and that truth only becomes clearer as the years go by. In your youth, you might have felt invincible, with an endless supply of hours to dedicate to friends, social events, and constant engagement. But by the time you reach your 70s, every minute feels more precious. The realization hits that you have the right and the responsibility to decide how to spend your time in a way that truly enriches your life. Richard, now in his early 80s, learned this lesson the hard way. For years, Richard's days were filled with an endless stream of social commitments, brunches, dinners, phone calls, and gatherings that, while enjoyable in the moment, slowly began to drain his energy. What started as a vibrant social life gradually turned into a schedule that felt more like a series of checkboxes than moments of genuine enjoyment. One ordinary afternoon, as he found himself caught in yet another conversation that felt obligatory rather than exciting, Richard paused and asked himself, "Is this really how I want to spend my remaining time?" That moment of introspection led to a dramatic shift. Richard started saying no to events that didn't spark genuine joy. He traded long, exhausting phone calls for quiet afternoons spent reading, exploring nature, or simply enjoying the calm of his own company. He began to see that time wasn't something to be squandered on maintaining relationships out of habit, but a treasure to be spent on pursuits that truly mattered to him. By being more selective with how he allocated his time, Richard rediscovered a sense of freedom, a realization that his days could be filled with activities that fed his soul rather than depleting it. This shift in perspective is one of the most empowering changes you can make. Recognizing that time is your most valuable asset means you're no longer willing to sacrifice it on interactions that don't contribute to your well-being. Instead, you start investing in experiences that uplift you, whether that's cultivating a new hobby, spending time in nature, or simply savoring moments of quiet reflection. Every second you reclaim is a victory, a step toward a life where your time is spent on what truly matters. Interactive break. If you're ready to take back control of your time, type 4 in the comments. I'd love to hear how you're making every moment count in your life. 5. Discovering true companionship within yourself. One of the most transformative revelations as we age is learning that the best and most enduring relationship you can cultivate is the one you have with yourself. For much of our lives, we're taught that happiness and fulfillment are found in the company of others. We're encouraged to build vast social networks, constantly seek external validation, and measure our worth by the opinions of those around us. But as you approach your 70s, a quieter, more introspective truth begins to emerge. The most reliable companion you'll ever have is you. Take Eleanor's story as an example. At 76, Eleanor spent a long time chasing after the ideal of constant social interaction. She was always on the move, planning outings, scheduling calls, and trying to keep up with the social whirlwind that defined her earlier years. Yet, over time, she began to notice that these interactions, rather than filling her with joy, often left her feeling drained and disconnected. There was a persistent, underlying sense that no matter how many people she surrounded herself with, something was still missing. One day, Eleanor decided to do something different. Instead of rushing to fill every spare moment with conversation or activity, she chose to spend time with herself. She started by taking solitary walks in the park, enjoying the gentle rustle of leaves and the calming rhythm of her own footsteps. She began to read books that had long been gathering dust on her shelf, and she even took up creative pursuits that allowed her to explore her innermost thoughts. What she discovered was nothing short of remarkable. By nurturing her own company, Eleanor tapped into a reservoir of inner strength, joy, and peace that she had never fully appreciated before. This isn't about shunning social interactions altogether. It's about realizing that your relationship with yourself forms the foundation for every other connection in your life. When you're comfortable in your own skin, when you learn to enjoy the quiet moments and truly understand your own needs and desires, everything else falls into place. The friendships that remain are the ones that add genuine value, not those maintained out of habit or a misplaced need for validation. By embracing solitude and investing in self-compassion, you free yourself from the relentless cycle of seeking approval from others. You start to see that your inner world is rich, complex, and incredibly rewarding. And once you learn to appreciate that, you'll find that even in moments of quiet, there is a deep, abiding companionship that can't be replaced by any number of social interactions. Interactive break. If you're beginning to appreciate the power of spending time with yourself, drop a 5 in the comments below. Let's celebrate the beauty of self-compassion together. 6. Letting go to open the door to a fuller life. Finally, let's talk about one of the most empowering shifts you can make as you age: the ability to let go. For decades, many of us have held on to friendships and social obligations simply because we felt we had to. We worried that letting go might mean loneliness or rejection. But here's the liberating truth. By releasing the pressure to maintain every single connection, you create space for a life that is simpler, freer, and far more fulfilling. Consider James, a man in his late 70s who once believed that staying constantly busy with social engagements was the key to a happy, vibrant life. James filled his calendar with gatherings, phone calls, and get-togethers, thinking that the more people he had around him, the better his life would be. But over time, he began to notice a nagging emptiness. The energy he spent on maintaining these relationships wasn't replenished. Instead, it left him feeling exhausted and disconnected from his true self. One day, after a particularly draining week of obligatory social events, James decided it was time for a change. He took a long, hard look at his calendar and his heart, and he made a bold decision. He would let go of the friendships that no longer brought genuine joy. This wasn't about cutting ties with everyone. It was about liberating himself from the expectations and routines that had long outlived their purpose. James began focusing on activities that truly resonated with him, such as exploring nature, delving into subjects he was passionate about, and simply enjoying the art of doing nothing sometimes. The result? A life that felt lighter, more authentic, and deeply satisfying. Letting go is not an act of selfishness. It's an act of self-care. It means recognizing that you don't have to cling to old habits or relationships out of obligation. Instead, you can choose to live a life where every connection and every moment is genuine and heartfelt. By releasing the burden of outdated social expectations, you make room for experiences that truly enrich your life. You discover that freedom isn't found in the number of friends you have, but in the depth of your connections, and most importantly, in the connection you nurture with yourself. Interactive break. If you're ready to experience the freedom that comes with letting go of the unnecessary, type 6 in the comments below. I'd love to hear about your journey toward a simpler, more fulfilling life. Final reflections. Living life on your own terms. As we wrap up today's discussion, take a moment to reflect on these 6 transformative insights. The idea that you don't need an endless roster of friends after 70 isn't about shutting yourself off from the world. It's about choosing a life that honors your true self. It's about realizing that real happiness doesn't come from the number of people you know or the endless pursuit of social validation. It comes from within. When you stop chasing after every social expectation, you begin to experience a freedom that is both profound and liberating. Think about it. Every friendship you once thought was essential has taught you something valuable. Some relationships have shown you the beauty of connection, while others have revealed the importance of self-reliance. The wisdom that comes with age is knowing that every chapter in your life has its purpose, and that the most important relationship you can ever cultivate is the one you have with yourself. As you continue on your journey, consider the possibility that fewer, more meaningful connections can lead to a richer, more authentic life. Embrace the quiet moments, celebrate your individuality, and don't be afraid to let go of relationships that feel more like obligations than sources of joy. This isn't a call for isolation. It's an invitation to live intentionally and to honor the natural evolution of your life. Before I sign off, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 6 reasons resonated with you the most? Have you started to shift your focus from keeping up appearances to simply enjoying the present moment? Or maybe you've already begun to experience the freedom that comes with prioritizing your own happiness over outdated social expectations. Please share your thoughts and stories in the comments below. Your insights not only inspire me, but they might also offer comfort and encouragement to someone else who's navigating this change. If today's video sparked something in you, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss a moment of our journey together. Your support truly helps us continue creating thoughtful, inspiring content that resonates with the real challenges and joys of life. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Remember, life is not about the number of friends you have. It's about the quality of the relationships you nurture and, most importantly, the relationship you build with yourself. Embrace the changes that come with each new chapter and know that every moment is a chance to live authentically, peacefully, and with a heart full of gratitude. Until next time, take care, enjoy your journey, and keep living life on your own beautiful terms. I look forward to reading your comments and hearing about the ways you're embracing your independence. See you in the next video, and as always, thank you for being a part of this incredible community. Final note: your life is your own story, and every chapter is a testament to your strength, wisdom, and capacity for joy. Don't be afraid to let go of what no longer serves you and to welcome in the peace and fulfillment that comes from living true to yourself. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Remember, whether it's a quiet morning with a cup of coffee or an afternoon spent exploring a new passion, every moment is an opportunity to redefine what happiness means to you. Embrace it, cherish it, and above all, enjoy the journey.